Hello, grade 9 students. In this video, we will talk about the semester 1 exam review worksheet and we'll find our solution for this worksheet. First of all, I want from you to bring your worksheet and keep it with you in order to follow me on your worksheet. So first, the topics covered for exam is chapter 1, which is about digestion, and chapter 2 about respiration. Also, you have to review your worksheets and the notes on your copybook. Question number one. Question number one is talking about proteins. So, digestion of proteins. After ingesting a meal rich in proteins, a probe is introduced into the digestive tube of a mouse. Samples of the ingested food they are extracted from four organs. They are constituting the digestive tube. The concentration of proteins and amino acids are shown in the table below. So in the table below we have the concentration of proteins in the mouth, esophagus, stomach, and the small intestine, where we have proteins and amino acid. So proteins is the complex form of proteins, while amino acid is the simplest one. So the concentration of proteins was 100 in both mouth and esophagus, while it decreases to 75 in the stomach and to 0 at the level of the small intestine. Meaning that mouth and esophagus they are not interfered in the digestion of proteins, where the digestion of proteins it starts at the level of the stomach, where the amount decreases from 100 to 75%, whereas the amino acid the small intestine, sorry, the amount of protein decreases to 0, so it ends at the level of the small intestine. While the amino acids, the percentage is 0 in the mouth as big as the stomach, while it's 100% at the level of the small intestine. So draw the histogram showing the variation of the concentration of proteins and amino acids along the digestive tube of the mouth. So here, this is the histogram where we gave it a legend. Proteins, it's the black, and the gray is for amino acid, where the scale on the y-axis every 1 centimeter represents 20%. So move 20, 40, 60, 80, 100. So you have to follow, and you are forced to follow this scale, and do not to change the scale every single time in the same graph. So you can start from 20 and then you move to 60, let's say, or you move from 20 to 50. So you have to move 20 by 20. Okay, so this is the graph mouth. It has 100 proteins. Esophagus was 100 in the stomach, decreased to 75, while there is no protein in the small intestine, and the amino acid is 100. So here they said determine the organ where chemical digestion of the protein starts and where it ends. In each case, mean the obtained products of digestion. So the concentration starts to decrease only at the level of the stomach. Therefore, digestion starts in the stomach and remains at 100% in the mouth and the esophagus, where amino acids they appear only at the level of the small intestine with the concentration 100. However, proteins they disappear where the concentration becomes 0. So this means that the proteins they are completely transformed into amino acids where at the level of the small intestine indicating the end of digestion. So proteins digestion ends at the level of the small intestine and started at the level of the stomach. In the stomach, the proteins they are digested into the intermediate form, which is the peptides, while in the small intestine they are completely digested into amino acid, which is the simplest form. Name one protease which is present in the stomach. Protease is the enzyme that digests proteins, so it's pepsin, and you have to know this. What is the role of pepsin? It's degrades or digest proteins into polypeptides. Number four, in the framework of study, they monitors the fate of the ingested proteins. In mouth is fed proteins marked with radioactive matters. Radioactive, it's radioactive. It's, for example, fluorescent, the dye. So, few days later, radioactive proteins were detected at the level of the mouth, cells, and in other organs. Explain the results. So, the amino acids resulting from the complete digestion of these radioactive proteins they are absorbed by blood at the level of the small intestine of the mouth. These are distributed to the muscles and to the different body organs where they undergo the action which is called assimilation. This is result in the production of a new product of proteins that are specific for the muscles and other organs to be radioactive. Moving to question two, celiac disease. The intestinal villi, they are small finger-like projections that line up the inner intestinal walls of the small intestine and increase their surface area. Certain individuals which are affected by celiac disease show symptoms such as fatigue, anemia, diarrhea upon eating food diet rich in gluten. Document below shows the difference in the inner walls of the small intestine of a normal individual and another one affected by celiac disease. First, this had indicate the role of the intestinal villi. Intestinal villi, they have an important role in the intestinal absorption. List three characteristics of the intestinal wall that favor its role. We have large surface area, thin wall, richness of blood vessels, which is called highly vascularized. Part 2.1, they said compare the aspect of the inner wall of the small intestine in these two individuals. So the inner wall in the normal individual, no, we have normal villi, and in the infected one, in the infected we have the damaged villi, the one that having celiac disease. In the normal individual, the internal wall of the intestinal cells shows normal intestinal cells, while in the infected individual we have damaged intestinal cells. In the normal, the intestinal wall of the small intestine, they are folded, while in the affected, they are flattened one. Okay, here we have folded internal intestinal cells, while in the affected we have flattened, and in the normal individual, the villi are more vascularized than that in the affected individual. So draw out the characteristics of the inner wall in the individual affected by this disease. So here we have decrease in the surface area, and we have less vascularization, less richness in the blood vessel. 43, they ask about testify why this disease can slow down the growth of the infant although he consumes a food diet. So the decrease in the surface will lead to the decrease in the quantity of the absorbed nutrient. So this child will be unable to produce energy. So this will be unable to produce energy by oxidation reaction or to form new molecules by assimilation. Thus, the growth will be slowed down, although his food diet is balanced. Move to question number three, the effect of tobacco and intoxication by carbon monoxide. Cigarette fumes contain several toxic substances, nicotine, tar, carbon monoxide, and others. Carbon monoxide has simple CO. This gas can fix easily in hemoglobin, leading to the formation of stable compound, HbCO. So among smokers, the concentration varies in function and the number of consumed cigarettes per day. So number of cigarettes, as the number of cigarettes per day increases from 10 to 20, it increases the concentration of CO from 5 to 7. As it increases from 20 to 35, it increases from 7 to 10. So here trace the graph. Curve always, the one that's found up in the table should be down. So number of consumed cigarettes will be on the x-axis, and number and the concentration of CO in the blood will be on the y-axis. So as the number of cigarettes increases from 10 to 35, the concentration of CO in the blood increases from 5 to 10. Here, pay attention. Where we use the scale 1, 1, 1, 1 on y-axis, every 1 centimeter present 1%, and the y-axis every 1 centimeter present 5 cigarettes. I can't start immediately from 5, and then I move to 6 and 7. No, you have to respect the scale, you have to give it a title. The scale should be drawn in the graph paper, the graph should be drawn on the graph paper, the graph should be given a title, it should be drawn using a pencil, and you have to respect the scale. Interpret, this interpret, analyze, classification. So the concentration of CO in the blood is 5 plus 5% when the number of consumed cigarettes per day is 10. This concentration increases with the increase in the number of consumed cigarettes to reach 10% when the number of consumed cigarettes was 35. This indicates that the concentration of carbon monoxide is directly proportional to the number of consumed cigarettes per day. Based on this information 43 and your acquired knowledge, this mostly on your acquired knowledge, explain how CO can cause intoxication and high concentration. This one is mentioned in your notes. So carbon monoxide gas CO binds in an irreversible manner, in a stable manner to hemoglobin and prevent the binding of oxygen and carbon dioxide. So less oxygen will be delivered to the body cells so they can produce less energy. Carbon dioxide accumulate in the body and will lead to intoxication. Moving to part 4, assimilation and the transport of oxygen gas. Assimilation is the mechanism where the cells are capable of forming new molecules of proteins. For example, hemoglobin are amino acids using energy. Hemoglobin is the protein of red blood cells which play a role in the transport of oxygen, carbon dioxide, and respiratory gases. Derived from the text, the element necessary for assimilation. They are mentioned in the text. They are amino acids and energy. Drawing the graph, always the one found up will be down in the graph. So quantity of hemoglobin and AU will be down, and that of quantity of oxygen percent will be up. To scale, title, and you have to respect the title. Analyze. So analysis, analyze the obtained results. You have to say that the quantity of transported oxygen increases from 25 to 98, and the quantity of hemoglobin increases from 10 to from 4 AU to 10 AU respectively. Hemoglobin is known to be a functional protein. Why? Hemoglobin is known to transport oxygen gas of the lungs toward the cell and carbon dioxide of the cells toward the lungs. That's why it's considered as respiratory gas, respiratory or a functional protein because it transports respiratory gases. Please review these notes. 5, 2, practice drawing the graphs and how to convert a table into a graph and how to convert a graph into a table. Thank you guys. Bye bye.